How does climate change affects Philippine geography? Philippine geography tackles cold hard facts on why goods like onions are so expensive or why we're always at risk of disasters from typhoons. Take note, climate change play both role on those two. So, is climate change the one to blame? Certainly not. Climate change has two types. The one that is natural called geologic climate change and the other is called modern climate change that which is caused by humans. Modern climate change causes a faster warming of global temperatures at a pace that naturally should just occur in 10,000 years. 1.5 degrees Celsius of global temperature is a no-no. In Philippines, a global temperature of 1.15 degrees Celsius increases typhoons, changes the behavior of flora and fauna, and causes sea level rise in our coastal areas, greatly affecting our geography in present and future. The interaction of Filipinos to spaces like this one in the picture implies how geography shapes Filipinos and how Filipinos can shape geography by contributing to climate change. Now we'll dive into what has climate change done to the Philippines and what have the Filipino people done to climate change. According to Oxfam 2022, Philippines ranked 10th among 18 Asian countries in terms of vulnerability and preparedness to climate change. On the other hand, according to Global Climate Risk Index 2021, the Philippines ranked 17th in the world as the most affected country from extreme weather events. But how does this translate in real life? As you can see, disasters are loss of lives, properties, and opportunities. Since 60% of Filipino population live in coastal areas, they're exposed to typhoons, floods, and storm surges. In some cases, Philippine mountain ranges help in alleviating the winds brought by typhoons. On one note, according to Pag-asa's climate scientists, the sea level in the Philippines is rising 3 times faster than a global average, putting many of its coastal villages in peril. Project Lupad 2022 estimated that Manila is one of the areas that will experience coastal flooding by 2050. At this point, the problem of Sikmura coincides with climate change and its effect in Philippine geography. Along with other problems that affect agriculture, climate change also affects production of food from growing to transporting it. Through severe drought that affects water supply and also typhoons that destroy crops and roads for transportation. For this part, we will now be looking on what has the people in the Philippines done to prevent or exacerbate climate change. According to CCPI, Philippines ranked 12 with relatively low per capita emissions, receiving a very high rating. However, it receives a low rating in the NCPI because policies are unlikely to be implemented well. Now let's see the situation of forests that absorb CO2s. The Philippine area is 30 million hectares, which 29.8 million hectares are land area. Fast forward 2021, according to Global Watch Area, 18.7 million hectares are stable forests, but 1.57 million hectares are disturbed. While budget for climate action increased to 453.1 billion pesos in 2023, we can only wait and watch carefully in the future if this will be utilized well to achieve changes, even simple ones like succeeding in reducing national plastic waste that emits harmful gases when incinerated. So the effects of climate change to Philippine geography is practically a depressing situation wherein the consequences is too high, but disaster risk resiliency is too low. While the Philippines is not one of the main contributors of carbon emissions, we are one of the most affected and vulnerable country. The arena of insisting our rights for climate justice is very dangerous. Filipino climate activists are being red tagged, put in surveillance, and harassed. This is why even if other Filipinos want to join these mass demonstrations for climate justice, they will be scared to stand up and join. The spaces of production in the Philippines are in the hands of powerful families that also have positions in the government. Their interest is on profit and less on climate justice because more production means more profit, although more production means more waste. It seems like we can eat a meal without wasting plastic bags and wrappers, but we can. A person's social status is not important when dealing with climate change, so long as we are aware of the issues and care to solve them. But according to HHI 2017, 60% of Filipino respondents did not feel well informed of climate change, though 71% of them feel they are somewhat affected by it. So, technological advancements contribute to climate change. Just the transportation sector in the Philippines amounted to 31.54 million tons of CO2, a 12% increase from the total emissions in previous year. Our electrical appliances also contribute. One is never too small to create a change. So while there are laws like Republic Act number 9729, Republic Act number 10174, and initiatives like Project NOAA, Bouquet 2017 argued that there are still lapses in the government's response to climate change. What is needed is to implement those laws accurately to see visible impacts. Act. Now, what should we do? First, be aware of the policies and laws that address climate change. By being aware, we stop the cycle of detachment from matters that concern climate and disasters. After that, let's share it to our small circle and inspire action within our family. Nothing is too small. Next, call for appropriate implementation of the policies. Follow the rules and help by implementing it by gently telling people to reduce their carbon footprint, use less electricity, less plastic wrap products, and planting more trees. And lastly, join environmental organizations for collective action and success. This is me with two of the millions of beautiful places in the Philippines. So even if there are big names in the industry exacerbating climate change, we Filipinos have a role to protect the spaces we love as one strong community. Systemic change, not climate change. This is Hilary Ditabile signing off.